Care First Arena. The first was her state championship game in high school. She reflected on her hoop roots, saying, I don't think I would be the player I am today without growing up in such a competitive area.
Absolutely. Something in the water here in the DMV for sure.
Home game for you as well. KK Arnold up to Fudd. Only the second time this season she did not make a three in that most recent win. Gets 2 looks at it here, and a rebound pulled down by Nolepi.
Yeah, she was top 5 in the country going into that Notre Dame game from the three-point line, but she did not mark a three against Notre Dame. 0 for 4 in that one, and missed 2 to start this one, but that's not going to stray her away from taking the next one, I'll tell you that. Georgetown is in that zone as well, so long closeouts for those three.
Nolepi erased by Sarah Williams, who on Monday took a technical and grabbed 8 statement boards.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's a toughie. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year when she was at Wisconsin a couple seasons ago.
Gino said he didn't mind that attitude so long as it doesn't boil over.
Right. And she's feisty down there and really helps shore up things defensively for UConn, taking some pressure off of Sarah Strong.
Layla Hewitt to beat the buzzer, and a long rebound pulled down by Miller. You mentioned that's one of their keys.
Absolutely. You just saw the chagrin on the face of Gino Auriemma. Put his hands to the ceiling like, come on. You can't give them extra possessions, but that's what Georgetown does.
And Jewett is Georgetown's assist leader. Ran into Williams there, 4 left on the timer. And Strong got in the passing lane. Sarah Strong on the run out.
Short shot clock for Georgetown, and credit Connecticut's defense there in the quarter court. Georgetown has to get some ball reversals. They like to run some dribble handoff actions, and dribble weave to get Miller downhill to the rim.
Agubata lost the handle. Back to Strong. How about 1,000 career points by January of her sophomore year?
Yeah, and here's the steal by Sarah Strong. She leads UConn in every statistical category imaginable: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. So she just brings a laundry list of things that she does well, and that's what Gino Auriemma said about UConn. He said everyone does more than one thing well.
There is no other player in the country like her.
No, I mean, she is just a matchup nightmare, especially in the Big East where they seem to be trending a little bit small. They play a lot of 5 out on the offensive side, but on the defensive end, it's tough when she goes to that 5 spot. That's what Gino Auriemma was telling us at practice. She's a matchup nightmare.
Here's Scott. Off the mark with her first attempt, and a good check out on the weak side for Fudd. She, of course, can bring it herself, hits the brakes, and sticks the jumper.
Yeah, just smooth as an ice cube. Azzi Fudd stopping with all 10 toes after going 100 miles an hour in transition. Just a tough bucket there by Azzi Fudd.
Now the trap and the tie-up, but was there a foul? Jeffrey Smith, Tasha Smith, and Kevin Fahey are crew here tonight. Darnell Haney saying the first order of business tonight, just the approach, Christy, the disposition it takes to hang with UConn.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter who you're playing, it matters how you are playing, and they have really been trending well in the last couple of games, and especially in that last one against Marquette. It was a 19-0 start to that game, and they held Marquette scoreless for 1.5 minutes to start that one, and it was a 20-8 lead after the first quarter. So they did their due diligence on defense, but they were also marking shots across the board and had a balance showing on that side of the floor.
Here's Fudd again with the basketball. Great look opposite for 3. KK off the mark. A battle for the board. Fudd sends it back to the perimeter. A new possession for UConn. Arnold coming off what Gino Auriemma described as her best day as a Husky in the win over Notre Dame. This is the layup.
Yeah, she just has such a change of speed that you kind of misjudge a little bit. Boy, but her burst is exceptional. And KK Arnold with that mask on. Her numbers have also been up there with that mask on.
Shea gets the steal. Fudd gets the pull-up.
And it's just so effortless for Azzi Fudd to start this one.
The 4th Georgetown turnover before Haney has to stop it.
50% from deep and 100% from the free throw line. She thought it was crazy to hear that and wasn't aware of it. Izzy told me that all starts of how you prepare, your habits you create on your own time, and everything you work on in practice, preseason, you name it. She shared all of her shots are muscle memory, and she believes every shot's going in because she knows exactly what she puts into it every single day.
It's good to see her score in other ways as Notre Dame knocked her off the three-point line on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's just so tough in terms of her entire skill set. And there's a long anticipated pass again.
No need for a three here as she lays it in with the left.
Yeah, those long passes are so easy to time. And you saw Azzi Fudd just knife that cut.
Destiny Agugbada once again ran into Sarah Williams. Fudd and Williams have all 10 for the #1 team in the nation.
Well, let's take a look. Look at this. Heidi Henson just ran into trouble there and then threw a lollipop pass across the court. And all Azzi Fudd had to do was shoot the gap and get a high hand on it, deflect it, and finish. Someone needs to help come relieve when they see that blitz coming, right? And there has to be some relocation by Georgetown players off the ball.
So Sarah Williams taking care of the rim protection in the defensive end, while Sarah Strong and Azzi Fudd, the top 2 scorers in the league, get a double-digit advantage here on the road.
Well, we asked Gino Auriemma, we saw Georgetown have a 19-0 start against Marquette, and you guys had a great second half. How's the importance of starting strong? And he said it's paramount. And he said, we cannot wait to turn the engines on. You can tell that they're playing with some force and some intentionality.
Speaking of force, Sarah Strong.
Sarah Strong is just a force to be reckoned with, especially when she has a full head of steam going downhill.
We saw Summer Davis into the game and missing the most recent shot for the Hoyas. She and her twin sister India have missed the last 4. Some eligibility stuff straightened out and returning to form. Good to see them back in the rotation. Another giveaway by the Hoyas with KK Arnold in the passing lane.
Making tough passes, long passes, and they're not running their systemized organic offense, right? They've taken their first and second options away, taken them short into the shot clock.
Strong looking for the backdoor cut to Fudd, and they give it back to the Hoyas, who used a 19-0 sprint to get their victory over the Golden Eagles last Saturday, and now the shoe's on the other foot.
Yeah, but they have to be able to play some defense in the court, right? And some wide open spaces because of those turnovers for UConn. Again.
Shade with the deflection and the score.
Some solid intentionality. The entire bench for UConn is up and applauding the defensive effort right now. And now they can apply some pressure. See Shade up there covering full court.
Byers puts it on the iron and gets the roll. Brianna Byers, a junior. Fudd does not have the answer, but a tip rebound to Williams. Strong lines up a 3 off the heel. And will stay at this end as Ashlyn Shade was discarded on the offensive glass. Now, Shade's been such a good offensive rebounder. She's 3rd on the team behind Williams and Al-Alfi, who's going to play tonight. Jen is back from a 4-game absence, but every year for Shade, she finds a different way to adapt to her role for Gino Auriemma.
Yeah, I mean, she was the freshman of the year, freshman year, and really had a solid season last year as well. So continuing to build and evolve.
Blanca Quinones, the freshman, into the game. 10 left on the timer for Shade. Blanca on the rotation.
Oh, I really love Blanca. Her game is so tough.
Strong spacing to the short corner.
Yeah, I mean, she's a 3-level striker. And you try to take one thing away from her, and she does 4 other things well. And that's what Gino said. He was like, yeah, you could try to take things away, but good luck, because she's going to bring something else out of the bag. And that's what she's continuing to showcase for sure.
If we were to show her heat map, it would all be red.
It would all be red.
Quinones digging in defensively. Byers trying to find some airspace and missed it all. On the offensive glass, Carter could not secure it. Strong with numbers. Heckel on the move. It's all UConn here in D.C.
Heckel on that run out, and she has lightning quick feet as well. Transfer out of USC. And that's what's different about this UConn team this year. I mean, they come at you in waves. They can go 9, 10 deep, and they don't miss a beat in terms of their intensity and accountability to excellence. That's
you exhale because KK Arnold takes a break. You're thinking, oh, goodness, the tip of the spear is going to catch a breather here. Now's our opportunity, and Heckle wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
Quinones with a block. AZ, thud, and cruise control. Timeout, Georgetown.
Ooh. Just what a solid start. I mean, it's an uppercut and then a punch to the ribs. I mean, just a tough start for Georgetown, a great start for UConn. UConn team in the next game, someone else showed zone and they knocked in 10 triples. And Gino said, no, I like the shots that we had against Michigan. We just didn't knock them in. But we can play against man and zone because we share the basketball. 23 assists, second best in the country. We're going to make the extra pass. We're unselfish with it.
And then at this end, they're on track to lead the nation in scoring defense for the second year in a row.
Yeah, they've been locked down. Just a skosh over 50 points permitted with their just staunch defense. And you love to see that. You know, everyone talks about, you know, the offensive prowess of championship teams, like, wow, they can really score the ball. But, yeah, they can really lock down on the defensive side and get the stops necessary. And that's what you've seen early on in this one.
Blanca Quinones took the personal foul, her first. Miller at the line, where she's an 84% foul shooter. And you said this is where the Hoyas have to find some success, not just against UConn in this specific challenge, but it's part of the engine that drives their formula overall.
Yeah, no question about it. They shoot just over 70% as a team from the line, but they get to the line 19 times. So they need to maximize those possessions as well as the offensive glass.
Ali Zabel to the baseline and fortunate to get it back.
You just have to, you see Darnell Haney just saying, hey, slow down. And there's not a worse turnover than the one that goes straight over to the bench. You just don't make eye contact over there after you throw it. Right.
He's presenting a zone here, and Heckle identifying.
Sticking with it.
Good inside-out passing, but not to the shooter's pocket. Single digits on the shot clock. Quinones. And now, Zabel. Has to hoist. One more to the corner. It's a violation.
Yeah, Georgetown did a really good job there of closing gaps with some discipline. But you also saw UConn not getting a piece of the paint. And that's what they did really well against Notre Dame a couple of days ago. They were able to get that short roll, that slot area cut to, and then feed the weak side.
Quinones already a 6-time Big East Freshman of the Week after missing the first couple of games of this season.
No, I love her game. I mean, a tremendous upside for the freshman. Just a lot of respect to garner 6 Big East Freshman of the Week awards.
Thud on the handoff from Strong. Still can't dial it in from distance. A rebound to Destiny Agubata.
Agubata's had some really great games where she has shown some aggression. Also gotten to the glass.
A step back 3 reigns home. Coming off her second double-double of the season. Destiny from distance.
Yeah, and the screen assist. You have to have a great screen with a long 2 there. But great activity.
Strong on the skip. Zabel expanding her range. A one and done for the Huskies, and maybe some momentum for the Hoyas.
Yeah, Zabel. She's a McDonald's All-American. Can shoot the lights out.
Brianna Scott's splash. I had a great chat with her high school head coach this morning. Got some insight on who she is as a player.
Who was her coach again in high school?
The name escapes me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know she spoke very fondly of Scott.
Same last name or something like that.
Bud spins out. How many of your daughter's basketball games have you broadcast?
Oh, this is the 3rd one. And it's always something different, I will say, emotionally. But I'm proud of her as a mom and a coach for sure.
Needs help on the dead dribble here. Final minute of the opening quarter. India Davis, like her sister Summer, returning to the rotation for the Hoyas. The foul line, she connects as well.
Good patience that time. That's when Georgetown is at their best. An 8-0 run right now for the Hoyas, sticking with their 3-2 zone here. And see, Georgetown does a lot better when they're not chasing in the open floor. And they have to really bear down and do this zone.
It's an illegal screen. They'll get it back for the final 16.4.
Well, that just speaks to the value of taking good care of the basketball, right? We saw the last couple of disjointed possessions by UConn because they're trying to dissect that zone and get ball reversals, and they're getting late into their shot clock now.
Davis against Quinones with 6. With 4. Attacks the freshman, who stays in front and made her miss. It was 20-2, but the Hoyas finished the quarter with the final 8.
Yeah, Georgetown, they've put their foot on the proverbial gas pedal right now, and they're in attack mode. Screens being set, buckets being made. Can they maximize that? They got to play in that quarter court and hit these middies with some consistency like Brianna Scott.
Georgetown.
Yeah, I mean, JB, it's a 14-0 fast break advantage for UConn, right? Because of those turnovers, but also a 16-4 advantage in paint points. And you see Georgetown sitting in that zone, and then now they're rebounding the ball well out of it. But it's those fast breaks off those turnovers that got Georgetown in that big hole to start the game.
Fudd missing her first 6 attempts from three-point range. Goes to get a rebound here. Collectively 0 for 9 three-point shooting for UConn thus far. KK Arnold through strong, out of the corner, and still they're 0 for. A deflection and a steal. Hessian on the move. Could not finish in transition, disrupted by Fudd. UConn on the counter.
Connie Hessian reminds me a lot of Natasha Cloud, who used to play here for the Washington Mystics, who now plays in New York in the WNBA for the Liberty, and she just has a motor about her and stays aggressive.
Well, speaking of this venue, I know you're familiar with it. UConn not as much, and this time of year doesn't see a lot of basketball. We're here because the nation's #1 team is here.
Absolutely. Just to accommodate the crowd swell. It's a sellout here.
Let's check in with Autumn.
Coach Darnell told his team, UConn wants to challenge our passes. So when we get a steal, relax in our offense. They're trying to bring 2 people to us. Be patient, make sure we're pump faking and execute.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do to a ravenous defensive team. You sell it and then get into the body and then get yourself to the free throw line. That's the name of the game.
Kaya Miller rotates it over to Hessian, part of last year's Big East all-freshman team. Now Scott against Williams. 2 feet in the lane with 5. Try to get to that second side, and once again, Sarah Williams protecting the rim.
Yeah, she is such a solid rim protector.
Strong downhill through 2.
Yeah, like a hot knife through butter right there. And Sarah Strong just changing speeds once she got to that elbow area and knew she was going to find success with that low man not being able to rotate in time.
She is the first to double figures, matching the Hoyas' total individually. Another careless pass. Shade pouncing with numbers. Lays it off late, and a foul. Sarah Williams heading to the strike.
Yeah, sometimes Gino Ariema says, you know, we're a little bit too unselfish, and I think that was an instance on that. A miscue by Georgetown, another turnover and live ball opportunity. Shade taking it, and once you're down there in that halo area, that restricted area, and I know that's not in women's basketball, but it is a marking on the floor. But once you take it that far and that low, you got to shoot that, because now your teammates are sizing themselves up for rebounds.
That's right. I bet Williams might even say, hey, it's easier for me to go get that off the iron if you miss than it is to handle that pass in transition.
Yeah, I'm speaking on behalf of all the post players, and post players are still alive and well out here, okay? I know it's Unicorn City now with the 5 out in the analytics, but listen, go ahead and take the shot. I'm right here to try to follow it up if it doesn't go in.
You know, speaking of that game you did the other night where they put up a historic win over Notre Dame. A turnover out of the trap here again. No, Sarah Williams, a beneficiary of that matchup, that rivalry, that environment.
Yeah.
When Gino was asked, why do you continue to schedule non-conference games like these in January? His answer was Blanca, a freshman, and Sarah, who's not been in these March-like environments.
Right. Yeah, it was really electric.
The streak is snapped. The first made 3 of the night belongs to Strong after an 0 for 10 start for UConn.
Sarah Strong is just exceptional. 41% striker from range. Just a balanced attack, and then Georgetown just being loose with the basketball again. A live ball opportunity.
The masked menace feeds Fudd. Shade on the offensive glass.
And that's what UConn has done well, right? They're getting to the O boards, much like Georgetown wants to, right? But they're not giving up those second chance opportunities, and that's what Gino said would be on the whiteboard up top. You cannot allow them more than one shot at it. It's one or none.
They started this game with the first 14 points. Now to open the second quarter, all 9 belong to the Huskies.
Look at that defense, wow. I mean, just took it right out of Miller's hands.
Fudd feeds the 3. Shade way too strong.
I mean, when you see UConn blitzing like that, again, Georgetown has to find some off-ball movement to relocate and get in that sight line to relieve the pressure. I mean, that's big-time pressure. They're under duress in a major way.
Williams running the floor, and Fudd determined to feed her.
And you saw Williams doing a great job of staying connected to the body to finish that play, absorbing contact and holding her seal.
Great pass. Carter the beneficiary and give the assist to Byers.
And that's why you keep it moving. That's why you continue to run the floor. Good things can happen for you, but Georgetown's got to put together some more consecutive stops like they did a couple of possessions ago, and not right now.
If you expect Fudd to flinch, you've not watched her career.
Yeah, and if you read her mom's shirt right there, when you Fudd around, that's what you find out. 3 things from range.
Miller runs into trouble. Byers to the block. Knocked away and into the hands of Ashlyn Shade. Strong got the deflection. Here she is at the wing. Toes the line and knocks it down. Sarah Strong filling it up.
Yeah, this is an onslaught. Now that their 3s are falling, it just changes the entire complexion of their quarter-court offense. It's unselfishness. It's the ability to finish plays, but also stick with it after you've started the game missing 0 for 10 from 3 to start the game. Now 3 of the last 5.
Now on defense, what can't she do? The only high major getting 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and she's doing it in 3 quarters of work per night.
Which is insanely good. I mean, it's almost absurd that she is that efficient and effective. But wow, I mean, that's why she's showing you why she's probably going to be the National Player of the Year. But yeah, just some frustration there, clearly.
It gives us a chance to talk about another area in which Sarah Strong has grown in her sophomore season as that falls through, thankfully, so that we can make the point that she's now 37 of 41 at the foul line, way up from her percentage of 74% last year.
Yeah, a big jump and, you know, a lot more attention. Obviously, she had attention as a freshman as well, but, you know, coming into this season, she was voted preseason Big East Player of the Year. She's up for National Player of the Year honors as well this season. And now we see Georgetown going to man-to-man out of that 3-2 zone now.
Playing through Strong. Great bounce pass on the backdoor cut by Blanca.
And she just glides through the air with the greatest of ease for UConn, and just a freshman, but just understands where to be and what to do.
Already on 3 occasions this year, she scored at least 15 points in a game. Should be more burn here tonight as a pretty pull-up falls for Summer Davis.
You're going to need more activity and patience like that on the offensive end.
One of those outside dogs for Georgetown, right? As they bring in a wave of newcomers looking to tap into the success they had in the 2024 season. India Davis goes to get that rebound, and Quinones commits the backcourt foul. Autumn, go ahead.
Well, you mentioned outside dogs. Coach Darnell Haney has coined that phrase, which he defines as a player who's been overlooked. In terms of who's really embraced and embodied that persona of what it means to be an outside dog with 7 newcomers, he's stated everyone, I mean, from top to bottom, his entire team, saying to play for me, you've got to have that chip on your shoulder. And what to accomplish when we do here, it comes with that. Coach added, it's not to prove anybody wrong, it's to prove yourself right.
Yeah, that's my favorite quote. Yeah, prove yourself right. That's what it's all about. Trying to be better every possession.
Great pass it in transition and a layup for Williams.
I mean, Georgetown has 7 newcomers to their team, right? So have to get indoctrinated to what being an outside dog actually is and staying hungry in that way.
Well, what about the super seniors like Scott and what they've had to do to make room for and welcome the newcomers to make this New Year's turnaround possible?
Yeah, no question about it. And it's more than the vocality of leadership. It's leadership by example. And I think you've seen it on the offensive glass this season for Georgetown.
Here is Scott, who just got that offensive rebound, hammering the dribble against Williams, got to the left hand, and a free throw to follow.
Oh, my. Well, she saw that double team coming, and she was able to make the read. No one relocated. They emptied out on that baseline and then got to the body and finished nicely right in front of the lip of the rim. A smooch off the window for good measure for Brianna Scott.
We're coming off that gruesome knee injury in the Big East tournament and rehab last season. What has that process been like for her, and how rewarding to see her come out the other side?
Ooh, you're going to get those waterworks out of me with that question, but it's been quite a journey, right? But I think she understands that, you know, once you're cleared physically, there's still mental hurdles, and I think she's still getting over those, but she is progressing every single day.
UConn continues to find the hot hand. Sarah Strong does not miss.
She's just flat out tough. Just no weaknesses in her armor.
Ashton out of the corner. Shade with her defensively. With midway point of the shot clock. And Scott up to screen. India Davis gets Strong on the switch. Over to her sister Summer. Shakes Fudd, but could not connect. And a big board with a foul as Strong rising for that rebound.
And she hopped right up. But, you know, Gino Ariema said it was going to be a physical contest. He understood that. But there's Sarah Strong trying to go up and get it. And just a collision. Agubata.
A second personal foul for Destiny Agubata and the third of the quarter for Georgetown. And that's going to get Jana Al-Alfi into the game, who's missed 4 straight with a concussion. And it came right as Gino Ariema said that she was getting comfortable playing out of the high post and put together some really good games.
Yeah, she's 6'5", but can stretch the floor and set good screens. And we saw them in shoot around earlier today, working on that rescreen to free Fudd for the triple try that she just knocked down. So it's all about reps, timing, but also mechanics and rhythm.
Driving kick. Davis does not have the answer, and a tip rebound will keep it at this end. It's a pleasure to watch UConn play off of the gravitational force of their stars, Strong and Fudd, right? They're learning, it seems, with each passing week what secondary scoring opportunities are available with defensive eyes locked on those two.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, it's teamwork personified, and I think that's what Gino Ariema appreciates most about this iteration of UConn women's basketball, right? And there's just been 12 championships, 24 Final Four, so a lot of great teams to choose from, but every team is different, just like every child is different. You have kids, you understand that. But everyone has to do their job, and he said everyone does so many different things well, and that's what separates this team, and that's why they're sitting at #1 in the country.
Backcourt violation here is Hessian just harassed by Quinones.
Yep, and she possessed the basketball and then took it backcourt.
It's a little bit of a chicken or an egg thing at this end in terms of UConn leading the nation in assists, right? They share it well, and they shoot it so well. One of the highest percentages in women's college basketball that they go hand in glove. Yeah,
second best in three-point percentage. Also second best in the country as well in assist. And Gino Ariema said that offensively on the glass, they don't really go to the offensive boards as much as he wants them to because everyone thinks the shots are going in.
Quinones travel.
Want to take a look? Pretty spiffy right here in terms of footwork. Tried to spin cycle, but then a little extra hop, skip, jump.
You know, to be fair, it'd be hard for me to get to the offensive glass if I were UConn too, because I'd be so stunned to see my teammates miss.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say without saying it.
Ashlyn Shade is grabbing all those offensive rebounds, and it is Al-Alfi. On a 40-minute basis, she is UConn's leading rebounder.
Yeah. She's a tough presence inside, and she understands her assignment and stars in her role.
Shade over the top. What a catch and finish. Knocking off the rust. El Alfie has 2.
Well, she did her work early and maintained her contact on the seal inside on Scott and was able to get that lob pass placed in her hands perfectly in the shot pocket for the finish on the weak side.
So the rich get richer, right? As she's back in the lineup, 9 points at Butler, 10 at Providence, 10 against Seton Hall before that 4-game absence.
Right.
Counting down toward the half. Scott dispossessed by the active hands of Fudd.
They were AAU teammates, so they know each other pretty well.
Quinones stops at the line, flat on the 3. Al Alfie, a held ball, and will go the other way. The shot clock turned off. The final 26.5 belong to the Hoyas.
Look at this pass. I mean, it's a lob pass, and Shade had to put it exactly where she did in order for El Alfie to catch it and finish. And she had enough space. Sometimes on those lobs, you run out of space under there, and you have to kind of lean back because the backboard is there. But that was just an exceptionally placed pass. That's why they're top 2 in the country in assists.
Yeah, Shade already has a career high in that category this season, and we're not even to February.
Right.
Destiny Agubada playing through a couple of fouls here deep in the opening half. Nowecki there to screen for. Lost the handle momentarily. Can she find a shooter? Scott against Al Alfie. Gets all the way home and another 3-point opportunity.
Well, that is when Brianna Scott is at her best, when she's playing organically and making the proper read. Got El Alfie off of her feet, froze her, and then now you can attack. That weak side wasn't going to come over, and took the hit and got the finish.
A great foul shooter, just like her parents. Over 80% on the season.
Wasn't always like that for me, though. She's way better than me.
We won't check basketball reference. Just take the compliment and move along.
She's got it. As you want your kids to be better, and she's definitely that. I love that. Put that on a T-shirt right there. But, hey, Sarah Strong is just flat out the truth. Zone again by Georgetown to start the second half.
Fudd had 14 points, 4 assists. She's now 2 of 10 from distance.
And to your point about points off turnovers, Georgetown 18 turnovers and those 24 points off. They can ill afford to have that same kind of start that they did in that first quarter, turning the ball over that way.
Chet Nowecki sends it over to the top, and now in the hands of Layla Jewitz with 6. Strong on the switch. Agubada with 2. Over Fudd, missed it all, and that's a shot clock violation before the rebound by Scott. Let's hear from Autumn.
Well, out of the locker room, Coach Darnell Haney told me we have to protect the basketball. It's leading to transition buckets. 21 fast point breaks right now for UConn. He said that's something we can't have. And I heard in the huddle him constantly tell his team, hey, relax and execute. They want to see that to close out the game.
Williams with a fine look opposite, but they'll negate the try on a Arnold screen.
Yeah, foul right there, but to Autumn Johnson's point, right? 21-2 advantage on fast break points, but here's the screen. You see KK Arnold trying to set that flare screen to the weak side for a skip pass, and got a little too extracurricular with that contact.
How about what you did to Hannah Hidalgo on Monday defensively? Really the team effort, but she was once again in the leading role.
Yeah, Gino Ariema said, hey, it was a collective effort defensively against Hannah Hidalgo, who basically averaged 30 points in the previous 2 games against Connecticut as a freshman.
Strong little heat check there. Ariema emphasized to us he still thinks she's the toughest player to guard.
Yeah.
In college basketball.
Absolutely, and he said he thought that the team overall did a great job, whether it was the primary defender or the help in the gaps, just to take her spin moves away and her deceleration moves and her ability to burst and finish in the paint. He took that away. It made it tough for her to find some comfortability.
Miller trying to find Scott, and they give it back to UConn.
Well, sometimes when you're making a cut from the weak side, it sometimes behooves you to go ahead and stop right there at the basket line because the defense is trailing.
Sure.
So you have a self-made steal.
To a lesser extent, Kaya Miller, the leading scorer for the Hoyas, and they've held her without a made field goal here tonight. So if you're atop the scouting report, it's going to be a long night against the Huskies.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Kaya Miller has been really good for Georgetown in terms of running sets for her. They love to run that dribble handoff action to get her downhill and get her some touches to really showcase her speed and impact.
Couple of minutes into our third quarter. Off the bounce this time. Sprays it out to Arnold. And now Fudd. From the foul line, everything but the bucket.
Good gap discipline that time defensively by Georgetown. That's what you've seen from them.
Dubata showing off the handle. Spots a shooter at the top. Halfway down for Scott before it pops out. And now a held ball will give it back to Georgetown.
And, you know, that was a good look, right? A spray out after the gap was shut down by Connecticut. Just unlucky for Scott not to drop it, but I like the aggressiveness also on the offensive boards. Miller got on the ground to hustle it.
A post foul on Strong. Her second.
And just a displacement down in there. And that's why you have to sit low when you're posting up, right? So that call will occur. If you're standing straight up, you're not going to get that call. If you're sitting down like that, you'll get the whistle.
Destiny off the high screen. Looking for the roll. It's taken away defensively and taken away by Strong. Sarah Strong cleared for takeoff again.
Steal and score. You know, it's the same song, different verse when it comes to what UConn has been able to do in the open court.
She's on 23. UConn will get it back here. Strong's career best, 29 points earlier this year against Ohio State.
Yeah, and there's the miscue again by Georgetown, a turnover. And then Sarah Strong in the layup line in the open floor.
I found it interesting hearing Oriema talk about how he motivates a perfectionist like her. Like using something like, oh, Hidalgo blocked your shot. That's going to be Spielberg gold in the film room for us this week because there's so little to pick at.
Absolutely. And, you know, I remember way back in the day that Bobby Knight, when he was coaching the USA basketball team, he had to think about something to yell at Michael Jordan for. You know, he had to really get creative and get to the back of the skull to find something because there really isn't anything that you can find that she's not doing well.
But seeing two defenders. Strong finds a shooter. Ashlyn Shade, not this time. Scrapping for the rebound. Here come the Hoyas. Miller on the move. Another solid defensive recovery from one of the fastest teams you'll watch.
Yeah, no question about it. They want to push pace. That's what Autumn Johnson was discussing with Gino at the half.
Nowecki knocked off her shot, and it goes back to UConn.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to apply pressure to teams, and everyone thinks when you say, hey, apply pressure, you're talking about your defensive prowess, which you are, but you're also talking about the pressure that you apply with your pace of play, right? And even if it's a dead ball, you want to come down and you really want to execute in the quarter court. Your first three actions are going to be very aggressive to get to.
One combined made field goal since halftime. It belongs to UConn as they try to feed the post and turn it over instead. Georgetown has not scored since the halftime break. Fudd and Strong delivering plenty of offense. The efficiency from Sarah, the lethality from AZ Fudd.
That's a spicy two-piece right there. My goodness, man. I mean, just a tough dynamic duo, those two. And they've been able to play off of one another so well. And talking about a team without Paige Beckers this season, Player of the Year last year, #1 overall pick to the Dallas Wings in the WNBA.
Beckers and Maya Moore, the only two Huskies quicker to 1,000 in their career than Strong, who got there on Monday in a blowout win over Notre Dame. That's as good a look as Jewett will get all night, and she could not cash it.
And again, Gino Oriema with his arms folded because Georgetown got another crack at it off the O boards.
Miller whirling into trouble. Dubata in deep. Able to find some airspace and score it.
Yeah, finally cracked the code after almost 5 minutes of play here in the second half. Georgetown with the stick-to-itiveness.
Fudd, spacing, shooting. She's been off tonight. Extra possession through Williams, up top Strong. Both of the superstars miss on that trip.
Yeah. But those are the shots you want them to take. Clean looks. Just didn't fall.
Midway point of our third quarter. Only a bucket so far for the Hoyas, in part because KK Arnold is a pest in all the best ways. Her second foul and timeout here in D.C. 53-22, UConn looking for a 20-0 start.
Need a lot of shots. I would love to see anyone that has scored 1,000 points by taking fewer shots than her because she's so efficient. He added, I'm not surprised that she's gotten there so quickly because it's consistent every night, just like Paige and Maya. And y'all, you got to think, sometimes Sarah doesn't even play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's just exceptional what she's been able to do in the time that she's on the floor. And she's an unselfish player. She could probably take 5 or 6 more shots, but chooses to pass it, which she did at the shoot-around today. And Tanya Cardozo was like, hey, you know what? That's your shot. You got to shoot that. And the next time she got it, knocked in a 3 in the next play.
Well, you know, 50-40-90 is the gold standard. Like,
yeah,
it's aspirational for basketball players at all levels. She's had 60-40-90. And she takes threes. It's not all layups.
She takes threes. I mean, her mom, Allison Feaster, played collegiately at Harvard back in the day, and in the Boston Celtics front office now, also played in the WNBA as well, and stayed in the gym. There's just something to be said for just seeing it represented. And you breathe it and live it.
This is not how UConn has ever played, but can you imagine the numbers she might get if she wanted to hunt shots?
Yeah, I mean, but the best players don't hunt shots. That's the beauty of great players, right? They're unselfish with it. They understand that when the team needs them, that's what Gino Auriemma said about Sarah Strong last year. It's like, hey, I'm over here if you need me. That was her mentality. Like, I can, you know, if you need me to turn the switch on, I'm right here.
Gino Auriemma also mentioned it's also in the flow of the offense to get Sarah Strong incorporated, not just feeding her the ball so she can get this 1,000 mark, of course.
There's free throws there after the third foul from Sarah Strong. Georgetown will get a new possession, and the Huskies will get a couple of new players on the floor. Unrivaled action hits this Friday night. Miss Battle Rose and Phantom goes head-to-head with Vinyl. Coverage starts tomorrow, 7 Eastern on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max.
Yeah, Paige Becker's just won that free throw shooting contest. 50 grand she won on that.
I think she donated it already, too.
To AZ?
I think I saw that.
Oh, I love it. Izzy's pretty good at the line, too. I mean, you know, share it. Yeah, sharing is caring.
Pretty good foul shot competition with Layla Jewett here at Georgetown, too, who's at 96% for her season. This will be Kristen Carter to the stripe, the junior from Indianapolis by way of Butler. They do get to the line a lot. When the Hoyers are right, they're averaging nearly 19 foul shot attempts per contest. That's tops in the Big East, but UConn's a different beast defensively.
Yeah, you try to maximize your possessions when you're playing against a team like UConn, whether it's free throws, whether it's O boards and second chance opportunities. And now you see Georgetown back in their 3-2 zone here defensively.
Zabel shoots it over to the corner. Heckel. One extra pass intercepted by Agubada.
And see, that's how they tried to dissect Notre Dame's zone in the mid-range right there in the slot and try to hit the weak side. Georgetown took it away.
Miller's been off.
Darnell Haney clapping his hands because I think he liked the way they defended that last possession. Just full rotation to the basketball. That's what coaches like to see, especially with something UConn found success with in their last game against the Irish.
Strong hammers the dribble, and her team now 1 of 10 in this third quarter from the floor. Miller off the bounce as we hit the 3-minute mark. Heckel hounding over the top and through. Pretty shot by Kaya Miller.
Yeah, that's what Kaya Miller does really well, okay? She serpentines her way, takes her time, finds her sweet spot, gets her 10 toes down right there at the nail and pops it in.
Quinones, right back.
Yeah, that's just too easy. If you're in a zone, you got to be square and have your hand in the passing lane is ball you man, right? If there's any, if it's ball man and then you're behind the play like that and you're going to get beaten.
I can understand why teams want to zone up UConn, but the way they play through their high post as Agibata scores it, and the variety of players that they can put in that spot makes them very difficult to defend.
Oh, no question.
Quiñones again, back-to-back buckets for Blanca.
Yeah, just fell asleep on the back line. You just can't do that defensively. I mean, UConn's going to pierce the paint and finish. And that's what I used to say when I coached, right? I have the kids hold their hands down like penguins by their sides and say, you know, the offense can see everything, and they put their hands up, and now it just disallows those gaps to see.
The Penguin defense here by UConn. They get another stop defensively. Strong looking to distribute now. They zing it around the perimeter and back in her hands. Shade, what a find. Oh, Strong owes her an assist.
Yeah, but that was just a great purposeful cut. Slice cut down the middle of the paint.
Davis, no. Strong trying to make amends. She's fouled on that rebound.
Oh, man, look at this play. The connection of the dots. That's why that was one of the keys. Look at Ashlyn Shade with a dart bounce pass right there to Sarah Strong, and she shot it with her right hand on the left side, and just a bad angle on the glass. But Ashlyn Shade with the goggles on that one.
You know what's interesting is you take out her 1 for 12 shooting start, Shade speaking of,
yeah, from
the start of the year. She's now at 45% since that point. And I think you can feel defenses know that you need to be there on the catch with her.
Yeah, 25 of 55 since that slow start, 1 of 12 from range.
Zabel bottoms.
Now that's what she does. Zabel ringing the bell from 3. She shoots it at a 43% clip.
Final minute of the third. Scott facing up. Alfie holding her ground. Her teammates digging it out. To the three-point line. And off the heel. A long rebound. Heppel's there to claim it. Quiñones, touch pass. Deflected. Bud to the corner.
Now I feel like we're down at Berry Farm somewhere. That's the pickup hoops down the street here in D.C. Like Rucker Park in New York is Berry Farms here in D.C. This is what it feels like right now. The pace is crazy.
Summer Davis down to Scott. From the short corner. Quiñones had the rebound knocked out of her hands. This is what the Hoyas do. Scrapping on Bada with an extra possession, and they can take the last.
Yeah, smart to get the ball back out, reorganize, and try to get a clean one and finish the quarter.
Destiny against Blanca behind the back. Step back 3. Well defended. Heckel at the horn. And it's UConn 60 to 28 after 3. They only surrender 8 points to Georgetown in that third stanza. Closing in on their 36th consecutive win, dating back to last season.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the court. You're having two?
Our producer, Mark Smith, torturing us. He knows it's dinner time. There's still a quarter to go, and he's showing every slice inside the arena, which is sold out tonight with the #1 team in the land here. Only won that third quarter by a 9-8 margin. See if they can create some more separation against these Hoyas as we play the fourth. Miller trapped on the baseline, finds a way out, finds a shooter, but missed the 3. Byers has the offensive rebound. Scott had hands on one too, and will stay at this end. 12 offensive rebounds for Darnell Haney's group.
Yeah, that's right on the average. Oh, that pizza is bumping, isn't it? That looks good. Hey, is that slow motion or is that real time? He's just eating, taking a bite slow. You should have pulled the cheese and all the things, man.
Nice work off the window. Summer Davis is back. Former Georgia Bulldog turned Georgetown Hoya.
Georgetown sticking with that 3-2 zone, just trying to keep that paint contained.
Sarah Strong, AZ Fudd playing into this fourth quarter. Likewise, KK Arnold.
And those deflections, just trying to be disruptive, but you know, it's those points off turnovers. And Georgetown has only turned Connecticut over 10 times, but it's 0 points off of those.
Donna Patterson making her first appearance and is fouled. It's a second on Scott. Quick entry and an air ball from 3 for Strong. As dynamic as she was in the first half, she's run cold here since the break. And the lead 30 now for the #1 team in the nation.
I'd love to see the scrap and the scrum on a 50-50 opportunity. I don't care what the score is, right? You play hard all the time. There's no let up by either team, to be fair. But you're looking at UConn and their dissection of Georgetown in this one. Staying steady, staying hungry.
Strong gives another foul. Her fourth.
You got to execute here. If you're Georgetown, you're working against one of the best defensive teams in the country, right? So you really have to be disciplined with what you want to do on the offensive side.
Long two goes begging for Davis, and UConn will take it back with 8:24 remaining. Their average margin of victory this season, 38.7 points per. 9 straight by at least 35.
And just flat out tough. And again, they just come at you with different lineups, different waves. They got players coming off the bench. They come in and star in their roles. It's beautiful basketball to watch.
Arnold, touch pass. Patterson from Strong, and a free throw to follow.
And when Patterson came to UConn, she was a dunker in high school. Thought she was going to rise up and get that one. Got the contact, absorbed, put that jacket on, swelled up. But it was that unselfish play right there with that tip pass to the weak side by Sarah Strong that got the job done.
Well, it's been tough for Patterson to stay on the floor, but when she has been healthy, she's made the most of her moments. Now, 10 of 13 from the floor, 12 of 19 from the line. She comes in and makes an immediate impact.
Yeah, she's had knee injuries, shoulder injuries as well.
Rubata swinging the elbows there. Mariana and the Huskies ranked #1 in the AP poll currently. They've been ranked for 617 straight weeks. March of 1993, the last time they were absent. I think you and I are safely within that horizon, but I don't know if Autumn Johnson was with us back in the day.
No, I wasn't here yet. 93. I've been becoming since then.
I missed that by 2 years, guys. 95, baby, over here.
Allie Zabel while we're talking birthdays.
Yeah, she's been able to cash in from that same spot from range for Connecticut.
A gift for KK Arnold and a cleanup for Fudd.
And that's why you sprint in the open floor. There's no gimmies when it comes to baskets. You follow it up. Fudd sprinted down there, and rightly so.
Byers at the elbow with Patterson defending, and look who's there. The mask crept up with another steal, and Strong lays it in.
And the mask menace, KK Arnold, just closing up that gap in a suffocating manner and taking it away yet again for the Huskies.
Their fourth distinct 10-0 run tonight.
Yeah, watch out. You got the mask menace right there defensively, snatching souls and taking names. Sarah Strong with the easy deuce on the other side. There she is right there. Played at Madison High School in Northern Virginia. And started her collegiate career at NC State and was Freshman of the Year in the ACC for K-Yow, and then transferred to Georgetown, where she had a magnificent career in the Big East, and then was drafted into the WNBA and played for Sacramento before injuries took her out of the league, unfortunately. But she was a flat-out bucket in high school and on the collegiate level as well.
Noteworthy that her daughter and Sarah Strong still on the floor along with KK Arnold as we get to the 6-minute mark, fourth quarter.
We saw Katie Fudd, Katie Smurkaduffy around these parts in the DMV, and we're the number 35, and that's why Azzi wears 35.
Good call out.
And she's named after
Arnold surveying here. Fudd goes to get the handoff for three and pours it in.
Yeah, there's Katie right there. And Katie was a big fan of Jennifer Azzi, back to my point. And that's why Azzi's first name is Azzi. Jennifer Azzi played at Stanford. Class of 1990, was on the USA basketball team, and now in the front office with the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA.
Amanda Ajoibue got a bucket while we were chatting about the Fudds. She's on the floor number 10 for Georgetown as Scott leaves one on the front iron.
That's a good idea.
Strong on the breakout. Zabel traveled. Time at us one more time. We've dipped under 5 to go in this fourth quarter. UConn and Georgetown for the first time this season.
Senior Brianna Scott, whose mom is former Maryland star and our very own Christy Winters Scott. And Brianna told me her mom means everything to her. Growing up around her in women's basketball taught her to respect the game and strive to be the best version of herself. She said, with my mom being in my life and showing me the ropes, I truly look up to her. She's a Maryland Hall of Famer. She's an amazing mom, and she's an amazing human. Full circle moment here on Brianna's last ride as a senior. I didn't want to make you cry, Christy.
Too late. I lost the lash over here. Oh, my God. Oh, but she is the sweetest, beautiful Brianna. That's the song I used to sing to her when she was a little girl. So I'm just having, I was going to have this moment later tonight by myself and cry it out. But very sweet moment, especially since she had the injury and everything like that. I just didn't know what to do. You know, as a mom, you just want to say, you know, you just want to take the pain away. But she's a warrior, and just her spirit is just exceptional with everything that she does. And so I'm just super proud of her beyond words. So.
She and her veteran teammates have been through a lot in their college careers, individually and collectively, and some of their best moments have grown out of adversity.
Yeah, no question. And it's all about the heart and the character within, right? And how you learn to grow through adversity. That's when you're uncomfortable, that's when you learn the best lessons in life. Like, what do you want to do about it, right? You have to be solution-based. And even if the solutions don't come quickly enough for you, you know that they're coming if you continue to chip away 1% better every single day, every single play. And that's what this team has been able to do.
Layla Jewett with her first hoop of the night. She's their assist leader, one of their leading scorers. Bell missing from the corner. This is Hessian on the counter. To get through Arnold. Flips it up, but not in.
And that's what I was talking to you about earlier with Kadi Hessian and her ability to attack, right? And she can do that with consistency. She has great speed. She has great awareness when she has the basketball. I just want to see her do that more and more.
We invite you to cheer on your favorite Big East teams with officially licensed fan gear. For the best selection of team apparel and accessories, head to shopncaasports.com today. Braylon Barnett comes to get the shooter, the freshman from Aurora, Colorado. Making her 9th appearance of the season. And one more acknowledgement of Brianna Scott.
Yeah. You know, I coached her in high school. We won 2 titles, so it's really fun to experience so many different things in hoops with her. But UConn, I mean, they've just been a dominating force in the painted area in this game, whether it be in the open floor or in the quarter court. They've been able to pick and choose their points of attack in there.
Sarah Williams with a bucket and nearly another block. It's an opportunity to ask, you from your vantage point, how she's settled in as a Husky and how she raises their ceilings when it comes to March.
Oh, I think in an amazing way, right? You're talking about a player, Sarah Williams, who transferred here after 2 seasons at Wisconsin and was named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year in 2024, right? She averaged just over 2 blocks a game in the Big Ten Conference, but I think her presence on the court changes things schematically for UConn on the defensive side, right? She doesn't have to block everything, but opponents know that she can block shots, so they're going to try to avoid her, much like quarterbacks don't throw to great defenders' sides on the football field. It's the same thing with her. You're not going to take shots in her area, and she just changes things so well. And she doesn't have the extension of her offensive game yet, but that's something that will come, and she'll develop that. But she is a menace inside. She has solid presence as a rim protector and a shot blocker in the interior.
You know, I always looked at pressure teams, guards that like to get into you.
Yeah.
What's behind you?
Yeah.
What's your last line of resort? And they have a pretty good one.
Yeah. If you're a low man, you can trust that low man not only to block shots, but to rotate on time and wall up. You don't have to block everything, but you need to be there. And Sarah Williams is smart with it.
She takes the right shots, and she often finishes them. In December and January, so these last 2 months, she's at 63% from the floor.
Yeah, and a lot of those have come in the point-blank range, as they should. And there's nothing wrong with that. If she's shooting at that high of a clip, then keep that thing going. Keep that train moving, because that takes a lot of pressure off of Sarah Strong, right? And not that she has pressure on her, but now you have to pick your poison even more so on the inside.
Those two done for the night. I know it's become UConn fandom's favorite thing to do is watch their interactions with their bench as some of the reserves and rotational players close out another victory.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah Strong, not that loquacious. I saw something prior to the Notre Dame game where she was having a conversation with everyone, and they're like, oh my goodness, she's actually speaking to us. But they're just so cute, all of them, and their personalities and the way that they just communicate with one another, whether they're doing TikToks or whatever, or on the court, locking it down on the defensive side, sharing the basketball on the offensive end. That's what basketball's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be the camaraderie piece. It's supposed to have fun with it. It's a game. When it's time for business, they go to work.
4-point chance for Kadi Hession.
There she is. Kadi Hession. We just called her name a minute ago and wanted to see more aggressiveness from her. There she is, pulling the triple, cashing that in, all on net from the corner. Ashlyn Shea got a piece of her.
Gino Auriemma very upset with that whistle. Hession caps it at the line.
And Jamel Elliott right there, DMVer herself. Played at UConn, coached for several seasons at Cincinnati, and then came back to the bench. And she had been an assistant coach with Gino and came back for a second stint.
Impressive one-handed catch there by Quiñones. She's fouled with 2:01 to go. And so UConn is going to cruise to the finish line here. No surprise there. But the storyline, the subplot is they're one of 2 remaining undefeateds. And Vanderbilt leading tonight, but about to run an unbelievable SEC gauntlet.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, Shea Ralph played for UConn and for Gino Auriemma, right? And they just decided to do a home-and-home next season. And you love that, right? And the tentacles of his coaching tree, exceptional. And Shea Ralph has just done an amazing job with Vandy. And they've been tested, but they have overcome. But I love what she's doing there. She just understands the assignment of being a great leader and mentor.
UConn will host the Commodores in the 27-28 season before traveling to Nashville in 28-29. So mark your calendars accordingly. No window on the baseline. Beautifully defended by Williams again.
Yeah, just on a string defensively, and that's what you want to see, right? You see what the score is, but that doesn't mean you let go of the rope. Literally and figuratively on the defensive end.
Khalees Fisher, a freshman from Baltimore, on the floor to close this one out. By way of IMG Academy. UConn shooting 51% from the floor, holding Georgetown to 30% shooting.
Khalees Fisher, she was chosen as the Big East Freshman of the Year in the preseason. Doesn't get a lot of minutes on the floor yet, but she is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Goes to show what an unknown Quiñones was, right?
How about that?
Not outside of stores, but close to the program, they knew they had something special, and she's going to run away with that award.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, she's just so dynamic. Quinones, I mean, she does everything well. I mean, she has great footwork. She's in a flow. She stays in a flow state. She doesn't force actions.
India Davis over Williams, made her miss, and collects the rebound, is fouled in our final minutes. So UConn, a tall task for anyone, but from the Georgetown standpoint, like since the new year, completely different team. They're going to fall to 3-3 in this month of January with a couple of narrow losses, and with the Davis twins returning, they're about as close to full strength as we've seen them this season under Darnell Haney.
Yeah, when you have all the cards in the deck, right, it's easier to decide what your rotations are going to be, schematically what you're going to do on the floor, who's out there, and all of that. So, yeah, to get players back is a great deal.
Alexia Dogibon in the game for the first time. Here she is, the sophomore from Brazil. Had her pass deflected and stolen by Quinones. With this victory, UConn will take it to 41 straight head-to-head against Georgetown as Fisher, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, and speaking of 41, this is Gino Ariema's 41st season on the sidelines there for the Huskies. And Chris Daly, as the associate head coach, her 41st year, right there in lockstep with him. There's 12 championships, 24 Final Fours. I mean, just an incredible legacy there.
Hessian, the final hoist. And with that air ball, the buzzer, 83-42 the final. We update the Huskies streaks. 36 overall in a row.